Coming up.
Yeah, you felt that one?
Yep. Got tech neck? If you're like most people, you do. Don't worry, Dr. Krupa has some advice and methods to help untech your neck. Plus, Chef Robertson shows us how good ingredients make for good, healthy food that also tastes great, and a local Miami company that makes life a little bit easier for people who need wheelchairs. All that and more is today on SoFlo Health. Hello and welcome to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and we're at the airport because today I'm going around the globe to bring you health tips from some of the healthiest countries. We're talking Italy, Japan, Switzerland, and one that was even a surprise to us. Now, between you and me, our executive producer has told us many times, if you can do it in chroma, just don't do it. Well, have you seen the price of plane tickets recently? I'm doing us a favor. So settle in as we bring you a little bit of global health. But first, watch this. I'm gonna find my gate. We're at Crew PT and Performance Lab. This is Dr. Kyle Krupa, and it was 93 when the RZA and Wu-Tang Clan said you best protect your neck, and none of us listened to that advice because we all have forward head posture, which we're gonna learn more about today.
That's definitely an arbitrary reference, but thank you for bringing that up to our attention. But yeah, as far as the forward head, rounded shoulder type position, that's what tech neck technically is. And it's from being in front of technology all day. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I have this head posture, so can we show everybody what it looks like?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So traditional forward head posture, right, is gonna be that head kind of shifted forward towards the screen. So actually your head weighs so much weight, right? But for every additional inch that it's going forward, it's adding almost like 8 pounds, perceived 8 pounds to what the muscles in the back are trying to do. So the idea is to get this strong, and then this loosened up, and this loosened up.
I'm on the treatment table now, so Doc, what do you need me to do?
I'm gonna have you lay on your back.
Great.
All right, and then we're gonna release the suboccipital muscles first. So these muscles are responsible for tilting your head back and then also side bending and a little bit of rotation. So the way that I'm gonna work on this is I'm actually going to lift up from here, and you can feel that little piece of your skull right there. And then what I'm gonna slowly start to do is traction that area to lengthen that out. This piece of your suboccipital muscle here, as you shift your head forward, you're gonna notice that kind of crunches in, right? So we wanna open that area up, and as we open that up, you're gonna feel the artery that's in there as well is also going to expand and dilate. Tilt your head to the side, all right? Then bring you forward just slightly, and one more time. Next thing we're gonna do is a little bit of a manipulation here. All right, so Frankie, next thing we're doing is dry needling through this area, okay? So what I'm gonna try to do is stimulate some twitches inside the muscle bellies here, where it's really, really tight, and that'll try to help it relax, all right? And I'm trying to stimulate a twitch there. Still feel like they're in there?
Whoa. let me settle here. So what I just experienced was barely noticing when the needles weren't even in.
Yeah, it's most likely the improvement in range of motion came from the stretching that we did around the neck.
Yeah.
And then the needling is to add a little bit more blood flow to that area.
Now all of this was to help correct that forward neck posture by relieving some of the tension in places where it was too tight. But now we also need to strengthen the other areas to be able to maintain that. And we're gonna do that on next week's episode of SoFlo Health. Thanks so much, Doc.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
You got it.
We're at 5 Element Wellness Center in Coral Springs, and I'm joined again by Dr. Monique. Always good to see you.
Welcome back.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
We're about to hear from one of your patients that's actually a doctor.
Yes.
And she's a pediatrician. Tell me a little bit about her story.
So Dr. Jennifer, we actually met at an event, and she started telling me some of the stuff that she was going through. She really didn't have any experience with acupuncture, integrative medicine. And she's like, hey, I want to try this. I want to get educated, and I want to see if it helps me, because then if she sees the difference, now she can actually educate her patients on it and tell them something different other than just medication.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to hear from her how her experience was.
I managed a lot of stress, and I wanted to get healthy. I wanted to have more energy. I want to have a way to feel vibrant and not have stress through my life. It's been only a month, and I feel the difference. I do feel the difference. I am training Western allopathic mainstream medicine, and the beauty of this is that I am learning it for myself and experience it for myself and for my patients. It's very easy for people to think that two concepts are divorced, but one complements the other. It's been beautiful for me and the learning experience to apply it for the children I serve.
I find it interesting how she was also kind of putting herself through the paces to see if it's something for her patients. Do you find it's important to collaborate with Western medicine as well as providing your own medicine? Extremely important. It can actually work together beautifully. I think that's a good point. A lot of people are probably listening and thinking to themselves, well, I am going to my doctor and I am getting some results. I'm interested in integrating this as well. How do you recommend they go about that process? Come for an evaluation. We can talk about the medications you're on. We can talk about the side effects and how we can help you get off the medication or even decrease the medication. And then we can have the talk with your doctor as well, your primary. So some might make broad claims and say, oh, we're going to get you off all your medications. And you're saying, let's not do that. Let's gradually get you where you need to be and hopefully be able to get you off of some or whatever we can do. Yes, we're retraining your body. Let's treat it. And then once your blood pressure is lower, once your pain level's lower, especially when you're talking about nerve pain. We see a lot of nerve pain patients. Who else is a good candidate for this sort of process? Anyone that is suffering from a chronic pain, chronic disorder, depression, anxiety, sleep issues, migraines. And we don't do just acupuncture. We do hear people saying, I'm so afraid of needles. Well, we do integrative medicine, which means that we also use technology. Hopefully you realize, hey, I can do this. There's no pain to it. It's actually helping me. Great. If people want to find out more, how can they? They can go into our website, they can call the office, they can make an appointment, come for an evaluation, and we'll let you know exactly what we can do for you. Great. Thanks so much for your time. Thank you.
Come right back. Chef Robertson cooks up something healthy and delicious, and you'll learn how life is being made easier for the wheelchair-bound after the break on SoFlo Health. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm your host, Hunter Frankie, and I'm also your tour guide because we're taking you around the world to some of the healthiest countries to bring you health tips. And we're starting right here in Italy. Italy is a great place for health because they do put a lot of focus on slowing down, paying attention to what you're eating, enjoying the community and friends and family around you, and it helps that they have all of that Mediterranean goodness as well. Or you could hop on a plane and thank you, and you could end up in Japan. Exactly. In Japan, you'll find a similar sentiment where they focus on being mindful, slowing down with what they're eating, but you'll also see a heavy influence of a lot of fresh fish and low sugar. All right, now stay with us because you could hop on a plane once more, just like that, and I'll see you in Switzerland. This is The Strand, one of the restaurants inside of the Carillon Miami Wellness Resort. We're about to meet Chef Chris Robertson. He has a knack for making the healthy tasty and the tasty healthy. Let's go into the kitchen and see the chef. In the kitchen, I find Chef busy at work making a branzino. Listen up because he's going to give you a couple of really great tips for cooking fish in a skillet.
So here we're gonna do a really simple dish of branzino with a little bit of a stewed chickpea in a spicy tomato base. Oil our pan here. And we're not really frying, so this is about a tablespoon of oil. And then branzino is real noisy. It has skin. We want to cook that skin well. And because of the shape of the branzino, you can either score the skin or you can just leave your hand down for a moment. So our salsa verde is a blend of the things you would traditionally find in pesto. We're already starting to see almost a fully cooked piece of branzino down on the thin side. Beautiful. Really great piece of fish. And just learning to treat your cast iron well makes a really big difference for cooking. Plus, you get a little bit of flavor from the cast when you season it right.
You do.
At home, I season mine with bacon fat. I keep the leftover bacon fat from breakfast.
Yeah.
Goes in the bottom of the pan. Next time I cook a steak, it tastes really, really good.
Yeah.
In a few minutes, I'll join Chef at the table to taste the Bronzino, and I'm told he's even going to make a pizza. A healthy one.
This is Angel of DMR. Angel, good to see you again.
Thank you, likewise.
So for those that aren't aware, haven't been keeping up with us over the years, what's DMR?
DMR is an assistive technology company. We specialize in custom wheelchairs, but what most people don't know is we also provide urological supplies for people with urinary incontinence.
Why is it important to have access to these sort of tools?
Well, if you don't have the catheters you need, you're unable to void. We get very involved with both the patient and his clinical team. We try to understand what their specific needs are, and we provide different options for them. We make certain to always have date-specific documentation that's current, so that when we follow up with them each month, as is required by Medicare and most insurance companies, so that the patient doesn't run into an overutilization scenario where they have too many supplies, and we can ship immediately so they get them on time with no delays involved for getting documentation.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having the money to get what you need and then getting the wrong thing.
Correct. Or needing something and being unable to navigate insurance so that it gets covered.
And when it comes to the chairs that you have here on a regular basis, what makes them different than what people might find on their own?
These are what Medicare considers complex rehab wheelchairs. They're not a consumer power chair. One is they grow with the patient's needs. They're programmable. We can have somebody drive, no matter what their condition is, one of these chairs by having different input devices. And they have seat functions, which makes it very, very different from a standard consumer power wheelchair. They will tilt to reduce pressure ulcers. They will elevate to make transfer safe so that people don't fall out of their chairs, which is very common. They'll be able to elevate their legs so they don't get edema, as well as be able to recline for patient care, catheterization, a diaper change, whatever the case may be.
It's wonderful you're able to provide that comfort. Let's take a second and listen into one of your patients.
Perfect.
I had like in a manual wheelchair. Before I would have more difficulties because I wouldn't be able to open the doors. I had to dirty my hands. I'd be able to like grab the bags and go to the supermarket and come back and not depend on others to move me around.
And whenever you've needed an adjustment or something like that, do they help you with that?
Yes, I recommend them 100%. And they're always gonna be there.
Is there anything about this that you think people misunderstand and you'd like to clarify for them?
Yes, it's not as difficult as it may seem. We're here. It's very important to have the appropriate piece of equipment or the proper catheter so that your health does not suffer from not having what's appropriate for you.
And if people would like to find out more, how can they?
They can call us at 305-666-9911, or they can go on the web, dmrcorp.com.
Angel, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for coming in.
You got it.
Stay close. We get to eat when SoFlo Health returns.
Imagine breathing in that crisp Swiss air in the mountain ranges, or enjoying some of the cleanest, freshest water in the world. Plus, the love for enjoying the outdoor activities all around you. And guess what? Switzerland also has some of that healthy chocolate that's extra high in antioxidants. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and we've been going around the world to Italy, Switzerland, Japan, and they're 3 of the healthiest places in the world. But that's not all. We're actually saving the healthiest country of 2024 for last, and I guarantee you it'll be a surprise, unless you live there. And if you do live there, why are you watching SoFlo Health? But thank you for watching SoFlo Health, and keep watching. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie. This is Chef Chris Robertson, and we are inside of the Carillon Miami Wellness Resort, The Strand, a restaurant that you run. Earlier, we saw you making this dish, but now we have a full spread in front of us. So Chris, the number one question I have for you so far is, what makes any of these healthy?
Well, they make you feel good. So number one is they make you feel good.
Good.
And feeling good is wellness. But along with that, we use a combination of cooking technique, sourcing whole food ingredients, and healthy cooking to give you health and quality in all the plates that you got for you today.
At a glance, some people might look at something like the pizza and say, well, there's no way that's healthy. How are you improving the way that that's made, or at least making it so it's not as bad as some others?
The way we make our pizzas is simple. We use flour, water, salt, and yeast. We use thyme to build fermentation. That fermentation gives you a healthy probiotic piece of bread versus a piece of bread that might be loaded with malt, honey, sugar, preservatives, and that in itself is health. People all over the world eat quality breads and live a very, very long time, as long as those breads provide benefits nutritionally. So this pizza, we use really high grade ingredients, amazing tomatoes from a local farm. We buy some of the best salami, and it uses celery as one of the preservatives instead of just pure salt. We use really high quality cheese, and we make everything from scratch in-house to keep the preservatives and additives out.
So you're making this like pizza used to be made all the time and before food processing kind of took over.
Yep.
A lot of people talk about, well, I went to Europe and I had all kinds of pizza and I gained no weight and I feel great. This is the kind of pizza that you're
This
eating.
is that pizza.
Wonderful. And then what else do you have for us here on the table?
We have a healthy salad from our local farm partners in Naples, Farmer Mike's. We have some branzino with a little bit of chickpea ragu.
Yes, and we saw you give us many tips on how to make this and to make it tasty. When you're considering your menu here, what's going through your mind as a chef?
So as a chef, what I really look for is trying to cater to all of the dietary requirements of all of the people eating in my restaurant at any given time. We have keto-friendly dishes, we have vegan-friendly dishes, we have vegetarian-friendly dishes.
Right.
It's very complicated to make a menu that meets only one type of lifestyle, but what's really easy is making sure you have a menu that tries to cater to all of the dietary lifestyles. So that's what we kind of have before you. We have things that are keto-friendly, we have things that are Mediterranean, we have things that are for people that just want a pizza. You know, we have vegetarian, we do a daily rotational soup. Every day is a different soup, and the soup is always a vegan, gluten-free option.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Thank you so much.
It's got a little bit of heat, but not too much. It's got everything you were mentioning back there, where it's salty, but from just the sources of natural salt. You didn't have to add a ton to it. We saw how much you put on there. And for people that are taking a look at all of this and saying, well, I'd like to give it a shot myself, how can they find out more?
You can come into the restaurant and ask for me. I'd be happy to walk you through it. You can find us on social media, The Strand, CarillonHotels.com.
Well, Chris, thank you so much. This is amazing. I'm just gonna keep eating it.
Yeah, have a pizza too.
No, it's actually good pizza. Here we go. For those of you that believe I never have anything that's like this, here you go. Pizza. It's a beautiful thing to be able to take a deep breath of fresh air, but you have to have healthy lungs to be able to do that. Unfortunately, lung cancer affects a lot of people, but we're here to talk with Dr. Safdie at Mount Sinai Medical Center to find out the warning signs of lung cancer and what we can do about it. So let's meet the doc.
You know, the most important thing to know is, number one, that is extremely common. In fact, is the number 3 most common cancer in the world. Is the number 1 cancer-related death in the United States and throughout the world.
If it's caught early, does that change things?
Early diagnosis of lung cancer is probably the best opportunity that the patient and the treating group physicians have at curing it.
How would someone know if they need to get checked?
Smokers, those that have smoked, for a lifetime, or who have recently quit but have smoked for a very long time, and that are between the age of 50 years of age and 80.
What does treatment look like for those that are diagnosed?
We went from big scars, big incisions, to minimal invasive robotic assisted surgery that allows the patients to recover and leave the hospital within 24 to 48 hours after a lung resection, and also a combination with medical and oncologic treatments that combine, chemotherapeutic agents, immunotherapeutics, and targeted therapy.
Are there other things that could cause people to be more at risk?
We are learning a lot about vaping. It's something still new, but unfortunately something that it became also an epidemic. Any, exposure like chemicals in the environment, certain paintings, and certain jobs that we know.
Firefighters.
Correct.
So lung cancer is very much mostly a disease of smoking or environmental exposure.
It definitely is, but I want to make it clear that anybody that has lungs can have lung cancer.
So how would those individuals know to get checked?
Most of the time, these patients would have a family history of a family member that at a very early stage of their life, in their 20s, 30s, or 40s, with no tobacco use, that were diagnosed. It would be appropriate to have a consultation with a genetist. Mount Sinai is a community tertiary center where we do the utmost technological use in the treatment of lung cancer, minimal invasive assisted robotic surgery. All these things facilitate the diagnosis of the patient at an early stage.
So you're much better off coming and getting checked just in case and finding out there's nothing wrong than finding out too late.
Absolutely. Early diagnosis cures people.
And if people would like to learn more about what you're doing here, how can they?
So we have our website at the Mount Sinai Medical Center. You can get into the thoracic surgery service line. They have all the information about lung nodules, lung cancer, and all the other diseases that we treat here at Mount Sinai.
Dr. Safi, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
You got
Appreciate you.
Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Franke, and we've been taking you around the world today on SoFlo Health to some of the healthiest countries. We've been to Italy, Japan, Switzerland, and the number one 2024's healthiest country is Singapore. Singapore puts an emphasis on clean, green, healthy living, eating local, fresh produce, incorporating nature with urban life, and they have one of the most robust healthcare systems in the world, so it's easy to see why they've come out on top. So if you want to achieve global health, I don't know, hop on a plane. But if you want to achieve exceptional taste and design, then you should talk to SoFlo Home Project host and design expert Elena Capra, who's later today on SoFlo Home Project. Elena, what's going on?
Hi Hunter, so get ready to talk about living large in small spaces. Later today on SoFlo Home Project, we tour a beautiful waterfront condo that takes open concept living to the next level.
Thanks Elena, we'll be watching. Here's what's on the next SoFlo Health.
The Tech Neck Trek continues with easy stretches and exercises you can do at home and more about the benefits of acupuncture.
If you want to catch up on previous episodes of SoFlo Health before the next SoFlo Health, you can do so on SoFloShows.com. You can also follow us using @SoFlo Health to share with us what you're doing to stay healthy. Until next week, it's goodbye, good health, and good job, green screen.